Nestled between the mountains and the sea, Da Nang is Vietnam's third largest city, a place once known mainly as a stopover, but today it's a city on the rise. Modern, mellow, and surprisingly easy to sink into. With a coastline that stretches for miles and a skyline that blends high-rises with distant hills and ancient temples, Da Nang is where opposites meet, where ancient pagodas sit just minutes from rooftop cafes, and where the pace is somehow fast and slow at the same time. We arrived on a string of gray days. No golden sunsets, no grand plans, just a few days to walk, to wander, and to let the city surprise us. Not that it had to try very hard.
After coming off of a sleeping bus from Ninh Bình, we've made it to Da Nang. We had our first little peek at the beach here, and now it's time to find some breakfast. It just so happened we got dropped off just down that alley, and our hotel is right here, so that's perfect.
We settled into Da Nang without much of a plan. We stayed at the popular My An area at the Tao apartment and hotel. For around $30 a night, we were pleased to be in the heart of it all, with nice accommodation and amenities.
Not bad for our last few nights here in Vietnam.
The weather was mostly overcast, but it didn't really matter. The sidewalks were wide, traffic was calmer than what we'd gotten used to, and the city just felt easy.
After checking in and having a little rest, we decided to get out and explore. We've come up to the Riverfront here. You know, we tend to rent motorbikes wherever we go. It's easier to get around that way, but I do have to say there's something to be said about just walking, because you get to see more of the side streets. You can enjoy some of the leafy views with that bright red Vietnam flag, and it looks quite scenic and quite cute. Now, Da Nang is quite a big city, and so I believe that you can have very many different experiences based on whatever it is that you're looking for. There is the more touristy area down by the beach and the My An area. That's where we decided to stay, mostly because we just wanted a little bit of comfort, have more of an apartment style that was affordable for us. And so we landed there. You can come up here to the Riverfront, which is a very different vibe. It is much more local. There's a nice walking promenade. The famous bridge is up this way, but there's definitely less touristy things, you know, cafes, bars, shops, if that's what you're looking for. So just do a little bit of homework, figure out exactly what kind of experience you want to have, and I think you can find it here. Usually when we visit the malls or the plazas, it's for one of two reasons. One, it's really hot and we are seeking some air conditioning, or two, there's some inclement weather moving in and we are seeking cover. So today's the latter.
We returned to the riverside in the evening to check out the night market. We wandered past stalls selling fried crickets, knockoff designer bags, and the usual mix of tourist souvenirs.
Yeah.
But what caught us off guard was a full-blown dance competition happening right along the Han River. Teams of women dressed in coordinated outfits danced in formation to loud music, undeterred by the cold wind sweeping across the waterfront. It felt fun and joyful, one of those moments you stumble into when you're just out exploring. The riverside really comes alive at night, and I definitely recommend seeing it after dark. On weekends, the famous Dragon Bridge even breathes fire, but we were a few hours too early, and with the weather turning colder, we decided to call it an early night. We did our best to get out whenever the weather gave us a break. Most days we just walked, and our favorite place by far was the beach. Having that kind of easy access made everything feel more relaxed. No rush, no checklist. Da Nang is the kind of place that lets you slow down without feeling like you're missing out.
You know, considering we're here at the start of summer, it's pretty dang cold.
There's plenty to do around Da Nang, but if you're looking for a quiet escape with a big payoff, our first recommendation is heading north of the city to visit Lin Ung Pagoda. Perched high on the Son Tram Peninsula, the pagoda is home to the towering Lady Buddha statue, the tallest in Vietnam, standing watch over the city and the sea. You can spot her from just about anywhere along the coast, but it's worth getting up close. Continuing south of the city, you'll find one of Da Nang's most well-known landmarks, Marble Mountain. Tucked into the hillside between clusters of metal-roofed homes and sleek modern hotels, Marble Mountain feels like a quiet pocket of history and spirituality hidden in plain sight. It's actually a group of 5 marble and limestone hills, each named after one of the 5 elements. Most visitors explore Tuy Son, the largest and most accessible of the 5, with pagodas, cave temples, and sweeping views across the city. You can take the elevator up or brave the stairs, but either way you're rewarded at the top. Some of the caves are dimly lit, with incense curling into the air. It's a bit mysterious, a bit dramatic, and totally worth the climb. We only had one real regret during our time in Da Nang, and that was deciding to get clothes made in nearby Hoi An.
We were also approached by a woman named Lee. Her and her sister have their own, Jimmy's just doing the drone right now, they have their own tailor shop, and that is something we wanted to look at today. They actually have really great reviews, 6,000 5-star reviews, so I think we will end up going to visit her shop.
We'll share more about that experience in our next video, since Hoi An is famous for its tailor-made clothing. And with a wedding coming up as soon as we returned to the US, it felt like the perfect chance to get something custom made. But in hindsight, it feels like we might have been the ones getting stitched up. We'll go into the full story soon, but if we had to do it again, I'd seriously consider finding a tailor in Da Nang instead. It probably would have been cheaper and saved us a lot of back and forth trips over 3 days. Our last evening, the clouds finally gave us a break, just long enough for a real sunset. The sky warmed up, the city slowed down, and everything felt softer. As the light faded, Da Nang started to glow in its own way. The streets filled in, the sea shimmered, and the whole city seemed to shift into night without making a fuss. We didn't have many golden hours on this trip, but this one was enough. At night, Da Nang doesn't really wind down, it shifts gears. In areas like Mian, there's a buzz in the air. Cafes spill out onto the sidewalk, street vendors fire up their grills, and the scooters somehow multiply. From above, it almost feels calm. Lights tracing the curve of the coast, buildings glowing softly against the water.
Our last night here in Vietnam. After several weeks, we're in Da Nang at the night market. Just waiting on Jimmy's lobster, we think is coming. And got some peach tea and veggie noodles to close out the night.
Da Nang isn't exactly a hidden gem, it's popular for a reason, and after spending time here, it's easy to see why. It's one of the most livable, low-stress places we visited in Vietnam, with a bit of everything: beach, city, culture, and comfort. If you're new to Vietnam, this is a great place to start. We spend a lot of time trying to plan around the weather, but honestly, the best time to go is just when you're ready. Rain or shine, Da Nang made it easy to enjoy the moment.